There is a profound misconception about the way certain people leave our lives. We often imagine departures as loud, dramatic events filled with harsh words and shattered plates. But for the rare, deeply empathetic soul, the kind of person who anchors the lives of everyone around them, departure is never a sudden storm. It is a slow, quiet receding of the tide. They do not walk away easily. They are the ones who hold on long after the anchor rope has frayed. They stay in the harsh weather of a failing relationship, trying to understand, trying to forgive, trying to mend what is broken. From the outside, you would never know a structure is collapsing. They still smile warmly. They still offer their shoulder. They still show up with kindness in their eyes. But beneath that calm exterior, invisible cracks are forming. They are carrying a heavy, silent pain. And once those internal fractures reach a critical point, a profound transformation begins. They stop reaching out. The warmth begins to cool. They quietly step back into the shadows. And then, one ordinary day, they are simply gone. This is a journey into the hidden architecture of the empathetic heart, an exploration of the silent, irreversible breaking points that occur deep inside before they finally choose to walk away forever. This structural damage never happens overnight. These individuals possess a well of grace and forgiveness that seems almost infinite. They know that human beings are flawed, that mistakes are a natural part of the human condition. They will forgive a stumble. They will forgive a moment of anger. What ultimately breaks them is a persistent pattern. It is the slow, agonizing realization that they are being fed half-truths, witnessing broken promises, or enduring subtle, quiet disrespect over months or years. It is the slow accumulation of evidence that the ground beneath them is no longer solid. The first visible sign of this fracture is always silence. They do not yell. They do not demand an apology. Instead, they simply stop sharing the things that matter most. They will still ask about your day and speak with polite kindness, but the heavy, beautiful doors to their inner world are quietly pulled shut. This is not a punishment. It is an act of desperate self-preservation. This shift into silence is an agonizing period for the empathetic soul. They desperately want to believe in the goodness of the people they love. They want to hold on to the hope that the connection is still pure and worth fighting for. When trust begins to crumble, it forces them into a dark corner of self-doubt. They lie awake in the quiet hours of the night, asking themselves if they were foolish to be so open. They wonder if the beautiful moments they remember were ever real at all, or if they were merely an illusion created by their own hopeful heart. This internal questioning is the sharpest blade of all. The tragedy is not just that they are losing faith in you. The deeper tragedy is that they are losing faith in their own judgment. As the foundation continues to crack, they begin the painful process of emotional detachment. They stop expecting you to be honest. They stop looking for you in the crowd. They stop feeling safe in your presence. The relationship may still look intact on the surface, but the spirit has already left the building. Eventually, a day comes when the final piece of trust shatters. They feel it not just in their mind, but deep in their physical body. It is a sudden cold drop in the chest, a heavy stone settling in the stomach, and a crystal-clear realization that no amount of love, patience, or communication can resurrect what has been destroyed. At this precise moment, the internal preparations for departure begin. They might stay a little longer, offering one final, silent test to the universe just to be absolutely certain. But the truth is already written, the door is closing, because for a deeply intuitive heart, trust does not merely crack, it turns entirely to dust. The second fatal fracture occurs within the delicate balance of giving and receiving. By their very nature, deeply caring individuals are the ultimate givers. They are the ones who show up at midnight when you are in distress. They are the ones who listen to your endless worries while silently carrying their own unspoken grief. They pour their energy into making others feel seen, validated, and protected. But even a river will eventually run dry if it is never replenished by the rain. When they continuously pour their soul into a connection without receiving a single drop of care in return, the emotional structure inside them begins to collapse. In the beginning, they make excuses for you. They tell themselves that you are just busy, that you are going through a difficult season, or that their own expectations are simply too high. But as the months pass, the stark imbalance becomes a glaring, painful truth. They slowly realize that they are the sole engineers keeping the bridge from falling. They are the ones initiating every conversation, offering every word of comfort, and creating all the warmth. In return, they are met with empty silence, brief nods, or casual indifference. This realization does not spark outrage. Instead, it manifests as a quiet, devastating heartbreak. They do not desire grand gestures, expensive gifts, or endless praise. They simply crave emotional equilibrium. A gentle question about their day, a sincere expression of gratitude, or a moment of genuine presence would be enough to sustain them. But when their profound emotional labor goes completely unnoticed, they begin to feel entirely invisible. The fatal collapse happens the moment they realize they are no longer being loved. They are simply being used. When they notice that you only reach out when you need a favor, when they see their endless patience being treated as a given right rather than a precious gift, the warmth in them turns to ash. They withdraw their life force from the connection. They stop volunteering their deep insights. They stop asking how to help. They are not doing this to be cold or vindictive. They are simply empty. They have exhausted their entire reserve of spiritual energy on someone who only takes. The breaking point is often terrifyingly quiet. It is rarely a massive argument. It is usually a forgotten promise, a careless comment, or a day when they are deeply hurting and you do not even notice. In that solitary moment, they look at the relationship and realize this is not love, this is not friendship, this is merely an unpaid emotional debt, and they are overwhelmingly tired. From that second forward, the depth is gone. They will still smile, but the true essence of their affection has departed. The third silent breaking point involves the sacred alignment of core values. For an empathetic and intuitive soul, values are not merely intellectual concepts debated over dinner. They are the very breath in their lungs. Principles like fundamental honesty, profound respect, loyalty to the vulnerable, and a commitment to kindness are the non-negotiable pillars of their identity. When the people around them honor these same principles, the empathetic heart blooms. They feel completely safe and deeply understood. But when they are forced to witness the people they love mock, dismiss, or continually violate these core values, a violent tear occurs in their inner world. At first, they try to look the other way. They remind themselves that humanity is wonderfully diverse and that everyone walks a different path. They try their hardest to be accommodating and open-minded. But harmony cannot exist where morality fundamentally clashes. This misalignment usually reveals itself in small, chilling moments. It is a partner making a cruel joke about something the empathetic person considers deeply sacred. It is a friend who treats service workers with casual disdain. It is a colleague who constantly bends the truth for personal gain and laughs it off as the cost of doing business. These moments might seem trivial to the rest of the world, but to the deep feeler, they are alarm bells ringing in the dead of night. They create a suffocating internal tension. They want to remain loyal, they want to be accepting, but continuing the relationship feels like a direct betrayal of their own soul. They begin to feel physically heavy whenever they are around you. They bite their tongue to avoid conflict, but the silence feels like poison. They realize they are shrinking their own spirit, diluting their own goodness, just to remain in your presence. And one day, the quiet voice inside them finally asks why they are destroying their own integrity to keep someone else comfortable. That is the day the fracture becomes permanent. The fourth breaking point strikes at the very heart of their existence, the betrayal of pure intention. Deeply caring individuals do not perform acts of kindness for an audience. They do not help others to build a glowing reputation. Their goodness is their natural state of being. Therefore, when someone takes their pure, unfiltered care and weaponizes it for selfish gain, it inflicts a wound that defies description. They offer their support to build mutual trust, only to discover that the other person was using their empathy as a tool for manipulation. They share their deepest secrets to foster intimacy, only to find those secrets used as leverage. When the realization sets in that their sacred emotional offerings were merely consumed like resources, the pain is absolute. They do not just mourn the loss of a friend or a lover. They mourn the terrible damage done to their own belief in humanity. The final breaking point is the complete evaporation of emotional safety and the rupture of internal harmony. These individuals can survive tremendous external storms. They can endure financial ruin, physical exhaustion, and immense stress. But they absolutely cannot survive in an environment where they are not safe to be their true, authentic selves. Emotional safety is cultivated through gentle listening, validated feelings, and the freedom to speak without fear of mocking or dismissal. When they are constantly told that they are too sensitive, that their feelings are a burden, or that their perspective is invalid, they begin to walk on eggshells. They pull their entire spirit back into a protective shell. They are physically in the room with you, but emotionally they are 1,000 miles away. The pressure of living a double life, pretending everything is fine while silently suffocating inside, eventually snaps the very last string holding them to you. When that final internal harmony is shattered, they know they must choose between saving the relationship or saving themselves, and they will always eventually choose themselves. They do not leave to punish you. They do not leave to teach you a lesson or to make a dramatic point. They leave because their peace has been entirely consumed and they have nothing left to give. The departure is absolute, because by the time they physically walk out the door, they have already spent months, perhaps years, grieving the loss of you in their heart. They have already imagined every possible scenario, hoping for a miracle that never came. So when they finally walk away, there is no anger left. There is only a quiet, resolute finality. They leave because they cared entirely too much, and the weight of that unreturned care broke them. If you are someone who feels the world this deeply, who gives until it hurts, and who constantly wonders if your boundaries are too rigid, please hear this. Your breaking points are profoundly valid. Your internal peace is the most valuable treasure you possess. You are never obligated to remain in a room where your light is constantly being dimmed. You do not owe an explanation to those who never bothered to listen to you while you were desperately trying to stay. And for those who are fortunate enough to be loved by someone with such a rare, deep heart, do not take their quiet endurance for granted. Pay close attention to the subtle shifts, the fading warmth, the sudden silences, because once the invisible architecture inside them finally collapses, there is no rebuilding it. May you always find the courage to protect your peace, and may grace and comfort surround you on your journey toward genuine healing.